today we are going to have a little power class, so a little bit of a faster pace, a little bit more focus on the strength aspect, and yeah, let's see how we go. We're going to start on hands and knees, don't need any props, so get yourself a mat and come on down. So take your hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and we'll just start with a little bit of our cat-cow. So we are going to round up through the spine, and then we're going to roll back down again. And just get a sense of pelvis moving, ribs moving, head moving. Take a breath in, you're breathing into that space at the back of the body. Exhaling as you roll out of that, allowing chest and head to lift. Rounding up, rolling down. And once more. So we're going to do a little bit in this weight bearing position. So just get those wrists moving, those hands moving. We're doing little circles here, so feel like you are kind of shifting onto your left hand, then around, shifting onto right hand. Notice how hands feel, fingers. Are we collapsing down through the wrists, or can you get a little bit more weight through center of the hand into those fingers? Let's do the same thing, but we're going to move the other direction. Again, just kind of having head, shoulders, everything fairly relaxed as opposed to tense and tight. So have we some length in the neck. And then come somewhere back to center, and we're going to take your knees together, and we're going to take your right hand down over to your left. So kind of both hands underneath that left shoulder. We're going to do a little bit of rotation here. So we're going to let our right elbow drop down towards the mat. There's a little twist in the body towards the left. And then come on back up. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, come on up. 2 more. And once more. And then next time we're down, you can stay down. So right elbow stays down. We're going to reach that left leg back so toes are tucked. We're pressing into forearm and hand to open hips up to the left. And then back down towards the ground. So now rib cage, chest, pelvis, everything opening to that left side, and then pointing back down twice more. And once more. And then both hips are pointing down towards the mat. Again, we have some length in neck and shoulders. You're going to hover this left leg up, and we're going to point and flex the toes for 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, keeping heel flexed, we're going to bring heel to hip, point toes away. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time keeping toes pointed. We're going to reach that left leg out and around to touch that left side of the mat. Arc it over, touch the right side of your mat. So it's like we're drawing a semicircle with that left leg, reaching up and over. Rest of you is staying fairly still. For 4, 3, 2, 1. We're somewhere back in the middle, flexing that left foot again, and then we're going to rotate everything to open off to that left side, head, shoulders, knees and toes, or pelvis and foot, and then everything points back down. For 4, using the arms to create that rotation, keep reaching back through the heel. 2, 1, and then that left leg comes in. Take both hands up again, come back to that cat-cow that we started with, rounding up, rolling down, and then we'll do it all on the other side. So left hand comes over beside your right hand. We're going to start with that little bit of rotation through the upper body. So left elbow drops down. Feel like you're pushing this right hand down into the mat, creating that twist around rib cage, and then you're coming on back up. Exhale, drop down. Inhale, rise up. And twice more. And once more. Left elbow stays down, right leg reaches back. And then from here we're going to open hips to the right. So feel like both hips shining to the right, and then they're shining back down towards the ground. If you had two headlights at the front of your hip bones here, we'd be trying to shine them off to the right, and then shining them back down towards the ground. For 3, 2, 1. And then pause with both hips pointing down towards the ground. We're going to hover that right leg off the mat, point and flex the toes for 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping heel flex, we're going to bend heel to hip and point away. Notice where your head is. Has it started to drop down? Can it still be in line somewhat with the body? Next time, heel is flexed, bend knee, heel to hip, point away. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Toes pointing, we're into our little arc, so we're arcing that right foot down towards the outside of the mat, up and across to the inside. The rest of you staying fairly still. For 4, 3, stay breathing, 2, 1. Come on back to center, flex the heel, and then pressing through this right arm, everything opens up to the right, and then everything points back down towards the ground. For 3, 2, 1. And then both knees come back in, come up onto those hands, let chest lift, head lift, take a breath. Good job. Okay, from there, we're going to come into a couple of variations of some plank stuff. So have your hands kind of, or scoot yourself up towards top of mat. So we're going to start with kind of finding that midway between kind of that round back and that flattish back position. So it feels like lower ribs are tucked in and under, head is somewhat level with shoulders and hips. We're going to walk that left leg back, pressing through those left toes. We're going to walk that right leg back. So feel like you're actively pushing down into your hands, into your feet. We're going to shift forwards, push through the toes as if the crown of the head is coming to the wall in front, and then push back through the heels. Little shift forwards, little shift back. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're somewhere in the middle, even weight, hands and feet. And we're going to go for a little walk. So we're going to press into your left foot, let your right foot hover off, and then lower down, press into right foot, left foot hovers off. And almost feel like this is coming from the back of your thigh as opposed to just your feet. And then we're going to speed that up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let both knees come on down. Take a breath and sit back onto those heels. Full breath in here. And then you're going to keep elbows down. It's like you're going to sniff your mat to scoop yourself forwards, press up and around back. So elbows drop, sniff your mat, coming forward and rounding back once more. And then if we go one way, we'll try go the other. So you're going to scoop round back as you come forward, elbows drop, shifting back. Don't think about this too much. Once more. And then again, we are somewhere in the middle. We're going to prop ourselves down onto our forearms. One last little bit here. So you're going to come into a plank again. So walk your left foot back, walk your right foot back. A little bit of space between kind of feet and knees. Find kind of that level plank position. So head, shoulders, hips somewhat in line. And think of kind of tucking pelvis under here a little bit so that we're not collapsing down, we're not hiking up, we're somewhere in the middle. And then we're going to go into like a mini pike position. So you're pressing through the forearms, hips are opening up. And then we're passing back through our plank, hips dropping down, chest lifting up. You can let the hips come all the way down, untuck the toes, so we're in a mini swan here. We're going to turn the head to the right, turn the head to the left, come back to center, tuck the toes, start with the head, chin comes to chest, press through the forearms. We're going to hover up into that plank, find that long position. Then we're going to pike the hips up in the room. And then we come all the way back down, passing through that long plank, hips dropping down, untuck the toes, chest lifts, turning head over right shoulder, and let your eyes look into the corner of your eyes. And then come and turn and look over your left shoulder, and your eyes are trying to look as far left as you can. Maybe that makes more sense. And we're doing one more of those. Tuck toes, press through forearms, find your plank, find your pike, and then hold in your plank. So pelvis is tucked, one last little plank. We're going to dip the hips to the right, come back to center, dip the hips to the left. For 4, 3, 2, 1, and then let everything drop on down. And take hands on the shoulders. Good job, guys. Give everything a little shake out. Take a breath. Okay, from here then we're going to do a little bit of rotation through hips. So go ahead and just flex your right heel in towards your hip and then point away. Keep that little tuck of pelvis. And next time, somewhere heel is halfway, we're going to pause there. We're going to reach that leg up in the room as if kind of front of the thigh is going to lift up and away from the mat. And then release down and point away. Knee bends, little reach up. And then release back. Let's do once more. And then release back down. What we want to watch here is that we're not excessively hinging into that lower back. So just be mindful that you're keeping that little bit of a tuck of the pelvis, think heavier through pubic bone. And then we're doing the same thing on the left side. Flexing heel to hip, point away. Notice, can you feel that length through the front of the thigh, front of the quads? And then next time we are there, pause there. You're going to hover that leg up and then back down, point away. Head is heavy, shoulders heavy. Flex in, reach up, release, and back down. Again, being mindful we're not going so high that we are increasing pressure through that lower back. And let's do one more. And then release everything back down. From there, hands can come under shoulders. We're going to press all the way up. And we're going to swivel around from there. Okay, get yourself over onto your knees that you are kind of lengthways on your mat. You've even spaced side to side. A little bit more weight bearing stuff. So we're going to start on left side. So left hand is coming down and right leg is coming along. So we're finding our star position. We want to think about being heavy through your left shin, pressing pelvis and hips forward. We're going to start with a stretch for this right side. So take that right arm, come all the way up and over. So you're reaching out through the right fingers, thumbs can be slightly turned up. You're pushing that left hand down into the mat, and you're also trying to send your weight into the outside of that right foot. A couple of things to think about, and then just release out of that. Do one more there. Trying to create length through that right side of the body. And then find somewhere about halfway between the two. So reaching both arms, left arm sinking down into the mat, watching that we're not collapsing. So we're active through the left arm, there's some space around the left shoulder. If you like, you can take this hand and it can be on your hip, or it can be straight, or it can be wherever you like. And then from here, we're going to point those toes. We're going to hover that right leg up and then back down. Just lift your leg up and down. Last 4. Who knew that our legs are so heavy? 3, 2, 1. You're going to stay here, and we're going to do a little kind of cycle type action. So you're going to flex your heel in towards your hip. Everything comes forward, keeping that shape, and then we kick. So little cycle. Imagine you're cycling with one leg if your bike was on the ground. That's probably not helped. Okay, let's go the other direction. So we're going to hold in this flex position, heel to hip, straighten the leg out, flex in, press back. Don't think about this too much, just scoop your leg around. For 3, 2, 1. We're going to keep somewhere in the middle where knee is flexed, pelvis staying forward. You're going to let that leg drop down in the room, feel that sense of lengthening around the outside of the right hip, and then we're going to come back up again. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause there. We're going to straighten the leg, and we're going to do teeny circles with that right foot, but feel like it's coming from your right hip for 4, 3, 2, 1. Other direction. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last little bit. Reach that right arm overhead. Reach out through the right heel. So heel is reaching, fingers reaching, and we're going to shift towards the right, shift towards the left. So it's like you're trying to touch your right heel off the wall, and then you're trying to touch your crown of the head off the other wall. 3, 2, 1, and then let that right leg come down. You're going to push off that left arm to come all the way up here, reaching that left arm up and over. Take a breath. And then we're going to end up somewhere here. So right leg staying straight, a little bit of weight into the outside of that right foot, pelvis pointing forward. Just notice, if you had your 2 headlights at the front of the hips, are they still facing forward or have you rotated off? Arms are going to open out again, dropping shoulders. And now we're going to do a little reach. So left arm reaching to the left, right arm then reaching to the right. And notice the lower half of you. Can we keep that fairly still? It's like ribs sliding, upper half on top of lower half. We have 3, 2, 1. We're going to stay over here. So we're reaching off to the left a little bit. Obviously, even holding this position is quite a lot of work on those obliques. So if you need to ease off, come up slightly. If you want to challenge a little bit more, you are reaching into that diagonal. And then it's like we're going to draw a semicircle. You're going to reach this right arm up and over. We'll turn towards the left, and then we circle back. Circle up and over. Doing lots of semicircles today. And then come on back. And then next time we're here, we're going to go into like a full air guitar. So imagine you're going to sweep that arm up and around. And a little pause. 2 more. Let eyes follow fingers. And once more. And then open that left side. Full breath in. And then come on up from there. And now we have to do it all on the other side. So take your left foot out. Again, find that sense of weight through the outside of the foot, baby toe side. And then from here, you're going to take right hand down. And you want to kind of hand somewhere underneath your shoulder, not kind of too far away from you, not too close to you. So somewhere that you can feel kind of weight through your fingers, weight through the pad of the hand as opposed to collapsing into your wrist. And then from here, let's start with 2 of those big stretches. So we're going to reach that left arm up and over. Feel like you're opening these left ribs up. Take a full breath in. And then releasing that. Once more, think about sending weight to the outside of that left foot. Reaching that left arm up and over. Full breath in. And then you pause somewhere in the middle. And again, think about hips pressing forward, head coming back. And we're going to shift our weight onto that right hand, that right knee. Left leg hovers up. Toes are pointed. We're going to nudge that leg up and down. Again, doesn't really matter how high the leg lifts. Might be different than the other side. Might be easier, might be harder. Let's do 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, another option with this hand is to keep it on your hip if you prefer. From here then we're going to flex heel to hip and do our little side cycling type thing. So we are flexing, heel to hip, leg comes forward, kick away. So we're creating knee flexion and hip flexion. Pelvis staying somewhat still. Let's reverse that now. So we're going to kick the leg forward, flex heel to hip, reach it back. 3, 2, 1. We're going to pause here. So with that left knee flexed, we're going to let that knee drop down towards the ground. Feel that sense of lengthening around that left hip, and then we lift back up. Just for 4, 3. Are you still breathing? 2, 1. Pause there. We're going to straighten that left leg. We're doing our teeny circles. Think tennis ball size. Nice and quick. Feel like you're moving from your hip rather than just your foot. And let's go ahead, change direction. 4, 3. This side is definitely harder for me. 2, 1. Pause there. You're going to flex the foot so you're reaching through the heel. This left arm comes overhead. Feel like you're pushing to reach that left foot to touch the wall. And then you're reaching fingers, crown of the head to touch the other wall. For 4, 3, 2, 1. And then that leg comes down, push on up, find that side bend to the left. So right arm reaching up and over. Feel like your hips, ribs, everything opening to the right. Take a full breath in. And then come on up. And we're in this open arm position. So we're heavy through kind of right shin, heavy through outside left foot again. And then imagine somebody's pulling you to the right. And then someone's pulling you to the left. And we have 4, 3, 2, and then we're going to stay off over here to the right. So again, the further we are leaning, the more work it's going to be on that left side to keep us there. So to make it easier, come up in the room a little. To make it harder, come down in the room a little. And then from here, this left arm is going to reach up and over, semicircle, it'll turn to the right, and then open back out. For 3, 2, 1. Stay here. Then we're into our air guitar. Left arm dropping, reaching. Little pause. For 3, 2, 1. And then let that left arm come down by your side. Right arm reaching up and over. Take one more breath in here. And then we come on up. We can go both knees. Give shoulders a little roll out. Maybe one at a time. And then we're going to come into standing. So you can swim around, tuck toes under, and you're going to kind of shift yourself back onto your heels into your little tucked ball position. Let head be heavy. Take a breath in. And then we're going to press down through those feet to begin to roll on up. One bone at a time. To come all the way up into standing. And then we're going to turn again so that you have come to a wide-ish stance. So feet are a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And then we're going to do regular roll down in this wide leg position. So starting at head, think chin to chest, shoulders, ribs, pelvis, knees can soften. And then we're going to restack, pelvis, ribs, shoulders, head. Imagine you're getting a little bit more length, a little bit more space in the body. And then we're going to shift on over to that left leg. And then we're going to roll down from here. Head, shoulders, ribs, pelvis, knees can soften. That right leg can do whatever you like. You can reach out or reach back. And then we're going to press down through that left foot to rise on up again. This is where walls and chairs and children can come in handy. And then you're going to bring your right foot down. We're going to shift up over to the right. Maybe toes stay down. Maybe they hover up. Let's roll down. Chin, shoulders, pelvis. Knee can soften. Begin to press through that right foot. To restack. Pelvis, ribs, shoulders, head. And then 2 feet come on down. Give pelvis a little roll out. One more little thing here. So we're going to send our weight off to that left side and then send your weight off to the right side. So you're skiing or something here. Just see, maybe you need to take your legs a little bit wider. So when we shift to the left, like most of our weight is going to be on that left side, and then we're going to shift to the right, most of our weight on that right side. Notice, could we maybe get a little lower into this, but be mindful of your knees. Think about your weight sinking back in the room. Arms can reach forward to help with that balance. And then, of course, we're going to add a little bit on here. So next time you're over to the right, we're going to shift onto that right leg, little hover of the left leg, plant it back down. We're going to shift over to the left, maybe to toes, little hover, and then once more each side. Sounds so easy, just lift your leg. And then you're somewhere in the middle, press down through feet, come on up. Circle pelvis around, and then let's take one last breath in, reach arms up. And then circle around and down. Give everything a little roll out. And that's us all done. Good job, guys.